Today's story takes place in California, a state located on the west coast of the United States. It is the largest economy among all U.S. states, with four main economic pillars: technology, entertainment, agriculture, and services. California has a total population of about 40 million people, with complex racial relationships. The proportion of white people has gradually declined over the years, and now accounts for only 36.5% of the total population. California's capital is Sacramento, where the state government headquarters is located. California is a beautiful state. It boasts vast meadows, charming beaches, majestic mountain ranges, and bustling cities. However, behind its grand exterior lies a multitude of social issues. About 40 miles east of Los Angeles is the city of Riverside, nestled at the foot of the Box Springs Mountain. Riverside is one of the oldest cities in Southern California. It has mild summers with large temperature differences between day and night. These unique climatic conditions have made Riverside a famous grape-growing region in California, producing high-quality wines. And today's story takes place here. The character in this photo is Emily. She was born in Santa Monica, a coastal city in western Los Angeles County, California, into an upper-class family. Emily's father, William, was a local judge. Her mother, Anna, was a lawyer running her own law firm. Emily also had a younger brother who was 3 years younger than her, who was autistic and required special care from the family. Emily was smart and agile from a young age, excelling in her study. This young girl had many diverse interests. She played the piano well, acted well, and was an all-around talented girl. If one had to name Emily's greatest virtue, it would be her kindness. Before her 16th birthday, Emily's parents planned a grand birthday party for her. However, after careful consideration, Emily declined her parents' kind offer. The reason was that she wanted to use the money for the birthday party to help poor children, those who were still struggling with their daily meals. With her parents' support, Emily bought food and essential items to give to poor children in the local area. From then on, every birthday, Emily always used her pocket money to help those in need. In 2015, Emily was accepted into the University of California, Riverside with excellent grades, majoring in social sciences and humanities. The school is located north of downtown Riverside, 40 miles from Emily's hometown of Santa Monica. It is a leading public research university, also one of the oldest universities in California. Emily rented a room in the Petland Hills female dormitory, not far from the campus. Her parents wanted her to have convenient transportation, so they offered to buy her a car. But Emily thought the money should be used for more meaningful things, so she declined her parents' kind offer. Later, Emily's 90-year-old grandmother gave her an old blue 1984 Volkswagen Golf that she had used for over 30 years. This time, Emily accepted. In addition to studying, Emily actively participated in social activities related to animal protection. Kind and open personality helped her make many friends at school. At a party, Emily met Jason, 22 years old, also a student at the University of California, Riverside, majoring in theology. Jason was an energetic young man who loved sports, especially skateboarding. Whenever he went to school or went out, Jason always carried his favorite skateboard. Although they studied different majors, Emily and Jason's personalities were very compatible. They always had countless things to share and quickly became close friends. However, on a May night in 2017, the two young friends had to face a brutal challenge of fate. On May 26, 2017, it was a Friday evening. Students at the University of California, Riverside, finishing their week of studies. This year, Emily, 21 years old, had been studying at the school for nearly 2 years. Since it was the weekend, she decided to go to a nearby bar with a group of friends to relax. The nightlife in Riverside was very lively, especially on weekends. All the bars were very crowded. That evening, Emily and her friends went to the bar to drink, chat, and enjoy a rare moment of relaxation. During this time, Emily spotted Jason in another group of friends. Since they knew each other, they naturally sat down to chat. Friends they were with quickly got to know each other. The whole group played dominoes, a very popular game among American college students. Time flew by quickly. Before they realized it, it was 3 a.m. Feeling it was late, Emily said goodbye to her friends, saying she would go back to the dormitory first and see them another time. At this point, Jason also expressed his intention to leave. Initially, Jason planned to skateboard home, but thinking it was late and unsafe for Emily to walk alone, he offered to take her home. Emily happily agreed. Although they were not lovers, perhaps they had feelings for each other. On the quiet street at dawn, besides Emily and Jason, there were only a few scattered young people. Emily's Pentland Hills dormitory was not far from the bar, only 0.8 miles away. Two walked and chatted happily, quickly reaching the dorm. When Jason was about to leave, Emily suddenly became worried about his safety. The local security situation was not good, frequent robbery. Coincidentally, Emily had a car, so she offered to drive Jason home. Jason lived in the University Towers apartment complex, 1.4 miles away. Jason intended to refuse, but couldn't resist Emily's insistence, so he agreed, placed his skateboard in the back seat, and sat in the passenger seat. At 3:23 a.m., the car arrived at the University Towers apartment complex. The surveillance camera recorded Emily's car slowly entering the parking lot in front of the apartment complex and stopping next to a white car in a slightly obscured position. After stopping the car, they did not rush to get out, but continued to chat happily. 6 minutes later, 3:29, the surveillance camera recorded 4 men walking past Emily's car. They were walking while looking back, appearing very suspicious. Then, they disappeared from the camera's view. These 4 men were Tyler Johnson, 32 years old, Marcus William, 26 years old, Ethan Brown, 27 years old, and Derek Smith, 28 years old. They were all thugs who committed robbery, theft, and countless crime. Their appearance here late at night indicated that they were looking for prey. 3 minutes later, at 3:32, 3 of the 4 men reappeared in the surveillance camera. This time, they walked straight to Emily's blue Volkswagen Golf. At this time, 2 people in the car were completely unaware of the approaching danger. Our door was unlocked. The window was still open. When Jason was about to get out of the car, suddenly one of them appeared outside the car window, holding a knife pointed at Jason. Jason realized the situation was not good, but immediately another man opened the back door of the car, forcing Jason inside and making him crawl to the back seat. The man holding the screwdriver then jumped into the driver's seat, pushing Emily into the middle of the front seat. Next to her was Tyler, and shortly after, the other 2 also jumped into the back seat, holding Jason down. They searched the phones and wallets of the 2 victims. Emily, terrified, pleaded with the robbers to take their belongings and leave immediately. A robber named Derek opened Jason's wallet, found only $40. He intended to leave, but seeing that the other 3 had no intention of stopping, he decided to withdraw. Derek took the money and fled. At this point, it was 3:35 a.m. Tyler, sitting in the driver's seat, quickly found the car keys and started the engine. 3:39, R slowly left the University Towers apartment complex parking. After driving a short distance, the three robbers pulled Jason out of the car and stuffed him into the trunk. Emily, trembling with fear, asked the robbers where they were taking her. The robbers said they just wanted to go home and would return the car to her afterward. Emily naively believed they would keep their promise. But it was just the beginning of a nightmare. The car drove about 6 miles before stopping in a deserted alley. 2 robbers got out of the car to buy methamphetamine from a nearby group of people. Then they continued driving for a while. They pulled the car over to the side of the road, got out, opened the trunk, and asked Jason for the ATM card PIN. Jason had no choice but to provide a string of numbers. They drove another 6 miles to a gas station on the outskirts of Riverside. Surveillance cameras showed the blue Volkswagen Golf stopping in front of the gas station convenience store. Then, Tyler got out of the car. He was wearing a puffer jacket and black pants, holding Jason's ATM card. He stood in front of the ATM in the store for a long time, continuously trying to withdraw money, but couldn't, because Jason had given him a fake PIN. Leaving the convenience store, Tyler returned to the car and drove away from the gas station. Through the surveillance camera, Emily could be clearly seen sitting in the passenger seat. Afterward, the car drove about 9 miles to Fontana. There, Tyler and his accomplices bought and used methamphetamine and carried out some illegal transaction. Then, they continued driving into the desert. Jason, locked in the car's trunk, was in a state of panic. He continuously kicked the trunk, trying to escape. Emily seemed calmer. She did not scream. However, the noise from the trunk quickly angered the criminals. At 5:30 a.m., the car stopped in a desolate area in Fontana. Emily, frightened, asked the robbers why they stopped here. They replied that they stopped to smoke and rest. Tyler and Marcus got out of the car, pulled Jason out of the trunk, and dragged him to a hidden spot. They pushed Jason to the ground. Jason was trembling uncontrollably, not knowing what he was about to endure. The robbers seemed angry, cursing Jason for giving them a fake PIN and playing tricks on them, so he had to pay the price. Tyler and Marcus picked up a large rock from the ground and smashed it hard against Jason's head. At 10 a.m. that day in Fontana, a couple was watching TV in their living room when they heard desperate cries for help from outside. Surprised, they opened their living room window to see a young man with a bloody face standing in front of them. The couple was slightly frightened, mistaking him for a gang member who had just fought with someone, but they told him to leave quickly. This young man was none other than Jason. He was seriously injured in the head, but miraculously was still alive and conscious. Jason staggered around the area seeking help and encountered this couple. He tried to ask them to call the police. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the couple quickly called the police. After receiving the report, police arrived at the scene and took Jason to the hospital. On examination, Jason had a broken arm, severe brain injury, permanent hearing loss in his left ear. He recounted the entire incident to the police and pleaded with them to quickly rescue Emily. In reality, more than an hour earlier, at a vineyard in Riverside, the body of a young woman had been discovered. Police quickly arrived at the scene. The victim was so disfigured that she was unrecognizable. Her legs and arms were covered in bruises, her head was severely injured, and there were 2 stab wounds on her neck. The victim showed signs of sexual assault. Based on Jason's testimony, the police conducted a DNA comparison and confirmed that the victim was Emily, 21 years old. Clearly, another serious criminal case happened. Going back in time, after killing Emily, the gang of robbers did not stop. At 8:30 a.m., they drove Emily's car from Riverside to Fontana and targeted a 32-year-old female worker on her way to work. The car blocked this woman's path. Tyler and Ethan got out of the car, pushed the victim down, robbed her phone, wallet, and ATM card, then fled. A few hours later, they arrived in the town of Rialto, 6 miles south of Fontana. There, they continued to rob another woman, forcing the victim into the car. At 1:12 p.m., surveillance cameras at a gas station in Rancho Cucamonga recorded the blue Volkswagen Golf. The kidnapped woman was sitting in the back seat. Then Tyler, the ringleader, got out of the car. He had changed his clothes and was now wearing beige pants instead of the black pants he wore earlier. He entered the convenience store, just like before. He used the recently stolen ATM card to withdraw money from the ATM. This time the PIN was correct, and he withdrew $300. After getting the money, the two robbers calmly walked out of the convenience store, drove away. The woman they robbed was lucky to escape with her life, as she gave them the correct PIN. They released her on a remote country road. Then, the three robbers returned to Riverside to divide the $300. Ethan received $100 and left the car. Remaining two continued driving around the area, intending to sell the Volkswagen. However, by this time, the car's license plate had been placed on the police's wanted list. At 1:30 p.m., an undercover police officer patrolling near a vineyard in Riverside spotted Emily's blue car with two people inside. To avoid alerting them, the officer quietly contacted headquarters for support. Then, he alone followed them in his car. Not long after, another police car arrived to assist. Realizing they were being followed, Emily's car sped up to escape. The chase between the police and the criminals lasted for half an hour. Finally, the Volkswagen was cornered by the police near a farm gate. Surveillance cameras at the farm gate recorded the scene. The man in the blue jacket and black pants was the undercover officer. The two robbers tried desperately to escape, one even jumping into a river, but all in vain. Finally, the police arrested both of them. After being arrested, Tyler and Marcus confessed, revealing the names of the remaining two accomplices. That evening, Ethan and Derek were also arrested by the police. From the time Emily and Jason were kidnapped at the apartment complex to the time the four criminals were arrested, it was only over 10 hours. But in that short time, they had committed 4 robberies, 1 murder, and almost killed Jason. Under police interrogation, they admitted to car theft and kidnapping, but adamantly denied the murder and sexual assault charge. Coincidentally, they all blamed the other 3 for the crime. According to Tyler's testimony, that night he felt a craving but had no money, so he invited Marcus and Ethan. After discussing it, the 3 decided to go out and make money. They began wandering the streets. On the way, they met Derek, a friend of Tyler's. Derek also joined the group. When they approached the University Towers apartment complex, the 4 saw a blue Volkswagen Golf with its interior lights still on. They deliberately slowed down to take a closer look. After confirming that only a man and a woman were in the car, they began to act. 5:30 a.m., after attacking Jason, returned to Emily. To save her life, Emily tried to negotiate with them. She said that if they spared her, she would do anything. Emily had overestimated their compassion. They continued to drive away. 6:10 a.m., the sky began to lighten. Emily's fear had not subsided. She tried to ask about Jason's condition. They told Emily that they had knocked Jason unconscious and thrown him into a tree. When he woke up, he would be fine. After that, they stopped the car at an abandoned Easter egg printing. There, the 3 took turns attacking Emily and then stuffed her into the trunk. the criminals were still unwilling to let Emily go. They drove to a vineyard in Riverside, 12 miles from the printing plant. The trunk was once again opened. Emily was terrified. To save her life and avoid provoking them, Emily did not resist strongly. Notably, during the investigation, police also discovered a fifth suspect known as Kai. This could be a nickname or an alien. This person was believed to be involved in the case at some point. During the interrogation, all four criminals mentioned Kai, but their testimonies about this person's level of involvement and specific role were very conflicting. It seemed they could not or did not want to reveal this person's true identity. In the end, police could not find Kai. It is not excluded that the fifth suspect was fabricated to mislead the investigation and cover up their own crime. A year later, the case was brought to trial at the California Supreme Court in Los Angeles. 4 defendants were prosecuted for murder and several other charges. The case shocked the public, causing widespread outrage. Countless people closely followed the trial's development. At the trial, prosecution presented many crucial pieces of evidence, including surveillance footage from the parking lot and convenience store, and the 84-pound stone used to commit the crime. During the trial, 4 defendants showed no remorse. Not only did they joke and laugh, but they also openly showed affection to their girlfriends sitting in the audience, an extremely contemptuous attitude. However, Ethan, one of the criminals, secretly wrote a letter to Emily's parents, begging for forgiveness, but he showed no remorse in court. After a period of deliberation, Judge Samantha Owens remarked that all 4 defendants were not genuinely remorseful for the crime. The public's anger had reached. After a period of deliberation, California Supreme Court in Los Angeles delivered the final verdict. Defendant Derek was convicted of robbery and kidnapping and sentenced to 22 years in prison. The remaining 3 defendants, Tyler, Marcus, and Ethan, were convicted of murder and several other charges and were sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. This is the highest sentence held. When the judge finished reading the verdict, those present in the courtroom could not contain their emotion. They all clapped and cheered. However, seemingly anticipating the result, criminals appeared indifferent, unshaken before the reporters' cameras. They even laughed and gave a thumbs up. Marcus even turned to the audience and made a funny face. Their actions were a blatant disregard for the law. The reason they dared to act like this was because they knew California does not enforce the death penalty. After the case, Emily's parents established a charity fund in her name. All donations would be used to help local children go to school, escape poverty, and avoid violence. Emily's death dealt a heavy blow to her. Her mother closed the law firm she had built for many years to focus entirely on the charity fund named after her daughter. But sadly, less than a year after Emily's death, her mother went swimming in the sea one early morning and never returned. When her body was found on the beach that afternoon, Paz was determined to be drowning. She was 56 years old. Sadly, she did not live to see the day when her daughter's killers were brought to justice. In 2022, Emily's father died of cancer. Emily's autistic younger brother was placed in a healthcare facility for full care. Jason was lucky to survive the incident, but his left ear was permanently deaf, and he was severely traumatized. For a long time afterward, he could not escape the horrifying memories and had to temporarily suspend his studies to focus on treatment. The consolation is that with the encouragement and help of those around him, Jason gradually overcame the pain, continued his studies, pursued a law career, and actively helped others in similar situations. Now he's become a husband, father, and lives a positive and optimistic life. Emily's case has concluded, but the pain and anger it left in the hearts of the American people remain. This case sounded the alarm about the rampant crime and violence in this country. The story of Emily, of kindness trampled upon, and of her family's pain has become a driving force for the government and the American people to unite in the fight for a safer, fairer, and more humane society. Though no longer present in this world, Emily's spirit, with a charity fund bearing her name and Jason's journey to seek justice, continues to spread warmth, love, and hope for a brighter tomorrow for America. Thank you for following today's story. Please continue to support and watch our upcoming videos. Goodbye. See you next time.